Okay, Larry. Hey, I'll go ahead and give it to you to clear, and then I'll let the repeater reset, and we'll start with the net.
Hey Scott, I'm short time, by the way.
Roger that, Matt. We'll put you number one on the runway. How's that?
Clear on the second seat.
Alert, AF5, JB, standing by for net.
Okay, QST, QST, QST. It's a couple minutes after 8, in time for the W5DRZ Broken Arrow Amateur Radio Club Monday Night Net. And I'm Scott, KD5NJR. I'll cover net control. The format of the net is very informal. We want everybody to have a good time, but we'll do reasonably good at our radio discipline and technique. So with that out of the way, I'll just mention you don't have to be a member of the BAARC or any other club to participate in the net. We just ask that you're appropriately licensed. So with that out of the way, we have Matt on the list already as a short time station. Matt, go ahead and take it away. AF5JB from control.
I appreciate it, Scott, for giving you and everybody else out there on the net. Certainly good to hear everyone, and especially with everything going on now. But I'm doing very well. I've got the oil change on the pickup Saturday. Got that done. Grabbed a few items and all that, but other than that, I'm glad to be working and enjoying the weather and everything. And again, appreciate the guys being there and keep me company and keep each other company and all that. It's a great deal. And appreciate you stopping by last night to the Superlink, what I call the Superlink, the weekend recap roundtable. Kind of mouthful, but sometimes I get words, but still trying to get the 220 thing set up so we got backups. But as of right now, though, I'm pretty happy with what we got now, so I'm very happy about that. Other than that, Scott, that's about all I got. You anybody good, safe, and healthy week, and steady free, and the work week, or you might have going out there. That depends on the situation. But steady free, until next time, Scott. Catch you next Sunday. And this is AFIJB with Manitosa, back to control. Steady free, and catch you next time.
Hey, Matt. Hey, sounds good. Take care, and we'll talk to you on down the log, I'm sure. Matt reminds us all that 44385 on Sunday evenings about 9:30. Me and him, and I think Tony was on last night. Sometimes Steve. We all get together and kind of recap the weekend, who went out of town and who didn't, that kind of thing. Everyone's welcome to do that. 9:30 Sunday nights on 44385. All right, so let's take a pause and start our first proper list of stations for the net tonight. Call now, KD5NJR.
WA9 King Zebra Sugar.
KG5DLH. 5IHU.
5RSS.
Okay, that's a good list there. Ending with Butch, KD5RSS. Hey, it's been a while, Butch. All right, so we had AF5JB, where we worked him. He was short time. Harold, WA9KZS, KG5DOH, Larry. Station ending in India Hotel Uniform, IHU. I didn't catch your prefix. You can give that to me when you check in. And we round up that list with Butch KD5RSS in Coweta, I think. So, all right, let's take a pause here and run up and talk to Harold, WA9KZS, KD5NJR. Hey, Harold, what's going on?
I just wanted to do a quick hello here. Looks like a little bit of latency on the video, actually quite a bit.
Yeah.
It shows you still talking. But I wanted to do a quick check-in and say hello to everybody. Are you doing okay there?
Yeah, no news is good news. I think it's been since we talked last, but I got bumped out to May the 4th on work from home. And for the most part, that's working pretty good. Had a lot of audio glitches today on some stuff I was doing for work, but we made it through. So I guess all's well that ends well. And yeah, Harold, thanks for reminding me. This is kind of an experiment here. I've got a YouTube live stream going, and over the course of the net, when it comes down to my turn to talk, when I check in, I've got some visuals that I want to use. So anyhow, appreciate everybody being open-minded about that, and it'll give us something new to play with, kind of like ATV, but a lot easier, I think, to manage. Yeah, back to you, Harold. WA9KZS, KD5NJR.
Okay. But I wanted to check in. Not a whole lot going on. I did take the dogs out for a walk. And I have decided that it was the pets that conspired for this to happen. Because all the owners have to stay home with them.
Oh, man. Man, Harold, I don't know about that. Pets conspiring against her. Wait. There's a couple of movies like that. You saw Secret Life of Pets, right?
That's affirmative. I saw Secret Life of Pets. But that's when the owners were gone. They got to do all the partying, not when the owners were there.
So it's kind of like that in reverse. I got you.
Anyways, we'll let others talk here. So I'm going to probably have to leave in a few minutes for my dinner break. So I will talk to you later. This is WA9 King Zebra Sugar. Back to net control.
Okay, sounds like a winner, Harold. We'll talk to you later. WA9KZS. I don't know why I want to start that off with a K, but it's Whiskey Alpha Niner King Zebra Sugar from KD5NJR Net Control. All right, KG5DOH. Hey, Larry.
Well, good afternoon to you. Hope you stayed out of trouble today.
No, not me.
Have your place gone back to work yet? Is it too soon for that yet?
Oh yeah, it's too soon. I'll be at home until May the 4th. We've got some construction going on, of course, and then, but for most part, the office guys, engineering and stuff like that, we've been trying to support them from home. So I'm taking care of radios while sitting right next to my ham radios. It kind of works out.
Well, you can't be terribly sick at all.
Nah, it's not a bad deal.
I imagine you'd be glad to get back to work.
Oh yeah, for sure. If anything, I miss my friends. It's not quite the same to talk to people all day, every day through just the radio and the telephone. But I was on the radio with them a lot today, probably the most that I have in a couple months. We were trying to get some bugs worked out on dispatcher consoles. Over.
Does the company let you talk on the ham radio at work?
No, we were using the work radios at work, but we've got these consoles for the dispatchers to send the line trucks out, and they're getting new ones. So we were getting all the back end stuff figured out for those. We had a good day today.
Well, that's good. Well, I guess I better let you go and so you can get more check-ins here. 73 to you, and I hope everybody on the radio is doing all right. Hope they're staying inside, keep them safe for a while. And this is KG5DOH. Clear?
Alrighty, thanks a lot, Larry. We'll talk to you later. KG5DOH, KD5NJR. In our next victim, that call sign ends in I copy IHU, India Hotel Uniform. But if I'm not right on that, if I don't have that copy down right, let me know when you reply. Welcome to the net.
That's 4. That is a Roger rather. That was IHU, India Hotel Uniform. The first part is KI5, Kilo India 5. And my name's Paul. And how you doing, Scott? I think I checked on this network last week and moved my antenna upstairs a little bit. Got things situated a little better. So hopefully I'm coming out a little better with my signal and my audio also. Over.
Yeah, I copy. You've got some static in there with you, but it's not a showstopper. It's not the end of the world. If I concentrate a little bit, I can make you out just fine. So, yeah, you've been around before. I won't forget that call now. Internal Housekeeping Unit, IHU. I got you there. Alrighty. Well, anyway, how was your Monday? How was your start of the week?
Like I said, I went out outside. Somebody gave me a TL259 female-to-female connector so I could run the rest of my cable and get my antenna up in the attic. Probably, right now it's just a small, I think about a 4-foot mobile unit. Looking at getting a better unit, either a 10, 1481, or I was thinking maybe the Common GP3, but that's up in the air at this point. With the fact that you can't really go anywhere, so if I order it online, I ought to have plenty of time to put the thing in. Over.
Hey, I looked back at my notes, Paul. Are you coming into the net from Muskogee?
Roger. I am in west central Muskogee.
Okay. Okay. Well, hey, I'll give you lots of bonus points. We'll grade you on a curve for Muskogee. You sound good for as far as you've come in. Well done. And I'm glad that you got that connector you needed. You think that's improved things on your end?
Roger. I'm believing I'm getting better signal. I'm higher up now. My house has got a really high peak on it, and the attic's way up there. So right now I'm probably about 15 feet off the ground with the antenna. And like I said, it's a mag-based mobile. So, I'm not expecting lightning and thunder and all that, but at least he's getting out there and he seems to be doing a fairly good job. I'm looking forward to getting a better antenna and seeing how that goes through. Over.
Well, hey, you've got the height and you've got a real antenna, so that's two good things that you've got going for you. Do you recall what type of coax you have?
It's RG58U. It's not really great, but hey, it's working.
Right. And what would you estimate to be the length of that coax? You said you're in the attic, but with a attic with a high peak, you probably have a pretty long piece of coax back to the radio, correct?
That's a Roger. I'm about, well, the antenna had a 15-foot piece on it, which was nowhere near long enough. And I had another 50-foot of the RC 58U that I put on there. So I'm probably in total about 65 foot of coax. Over.
Okay. Yeah, if you improve that up, to say, LMR 400, or just as an example, you could probably pick up another 3 or 4 dB, and that would be effectively taking your 25-watt radio and getting well, let's just say you're losing half your power in your coax, and that wouldn't be unreasonable, with a 50-foot run like what you have. So it's something worth talking about. You'd sound like you'd sound twice as strong if you replaced your coax. Something to put on your list for when you get around to it. But for now, it's a serviceable signal, and Broken Arrow is a pretty distant repeater, so you should be pretty happy. You'll have no trouble getting local repeaters, of course.
Roger. When I get the new antenna, I was looking at replacing it with an LM400. See if I can get it up a little bit. One of the antennas I'm looking at has pretty good signal. I know they measure in DPI. I think it's 4, 7, 8, 7 being up at 20 then, because my little transceiver here is a rated out EB25. It's a quad band. I still have no idea what it's supposed to do with 350, but I don't think it's 350. Anyway, over.
Okay, well, hey, I copy that. That you've got the quad band receiver there, and not a whole bunch else. That was a little scratchy on that go round. But hey, I appreciate you taking time out of your Monday, and do hope to catch you on another net. Thanks so much for calling in from Muskogee. Hey, 7-3 Paul, KI5 IUH KD5 NJR, and at the bottom of our list here is Bruce, KD5 RSS. Hey Bruce, how are you doing?
Good evening, Scott. This is Butch here, and good to hear you. Good to hear your voice. Recognize you immediately. I guess the biggest disappointment is the Hamfest, of course, and Claremore didn't make it, but nonetheless, we are doing great here in Haskell. And glad to check in and add to your numbers.
Hi. Hey, thanks a lot, Bruce. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a long time. Probably Hamfest is about the only time of year that you and I cross paths now or since we don't have the Kawita repeater anymore. But hey, glad you're able to tune over. We're here every Monday, just like we have been for 15 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, my old antenna that I had up, I had to take it down, do some repairs on, and make some changes. But since the shutdown on so many things, I decided to put up a temporary one. Finally got one up that's working that I'm satisfied with, but nonetheless, it's kind of pulled up into the trees and using it that way. But thank goodness for being able to make your own stuff and go that route. But no, we're doing great, Scott. And, I understand you guys there just listening to the conversation. You're getting to do the stay-at-home thing and work, and hopefully this will pass by quickly and we all get back to normal.
Yeah, we're all cautiously optimistic, and yeah, I guess it's going all right. So I don't know what to expect, but I suppose it could be going worse.
That's true, but at least we're all kind of positive thinking on this, patiently waiting for things to get back to that new normal, but it'll get there. But Scott, I thank you very much. Glad I could answer your numbers, and good wishes
Okay, hey, we'll talk with you later on, Butch. Hope to catch you again for sure. It's been some while. All right, gang. So that takes us down to the bottom of the list. And as far as housekeeping items go, this is where I would usually say that the Broken Arrow Amateur Radio Club meets the first Monday evening of the month at 7 o'clock at 1500 South Main Street, outside of some sort of outlier like a Christmas party or the summer ice cream social or the fall picnic. But I'm not saying that this month since we're socially distanced. And so anyway, we waved off the April meeting. I haven't heard what we're going to do with the May meeting yet, but I'll let you know as soon as I find out. In the meanwhile, a lot of clubs are doing an extra net in lieu of a meeting. I think TRO did it for sure. I haven't heard about Tulsa Amateur Radio Club, but long story short, we'll just improvise and do the best we can. So let the repeater bounce. Okay, so Butch beat me to it. Of course, Green Country Hamfest, which was supposed to be this coming weekend at the Expo Center in Claremore. That is canceled. So our next Hamfest opportunity, at least the next major one that I can think of, is going to be Ham Holiday in Oklahoma City. And, oh yes, and the HamCom in Plano. So I think that's late July for Oklahoma City and early June for Plano. We'll talk more about that as we get closer. So what do you say? Let's start another round of check-ins. We picked up 5 good ones here, and let's see who else we have on the frequency this evening. KD5NJR with the BAARC Monday Night Net. Additional stations call now.
K5LTS, GNBA. Kilo Charlie 5, Juliet Kilo Uniform.
Alpha Delta 5, Juliet Lima.
Kilo Foxtrot 5, Tango, Victor Golf.
November 5, Whiskey, Charlie Whiskey, and for the count.
Kilo Alpha 5, Tango Romeo Oscar.
Okay, Tony. All right. So we'll draw the line there at Tony at station number 11 in the log, and we'll read back what we've got. We've got KE5LTS, KC5JKU, 85JL, KF5 Television Guy, KF5TVG, N5WCW, November 5 World Championship Wrestling, in and out. And we'll end up with a KA5TRO. Alright, I'll let the repeater reset. And Gene, go ahead and pick it up. KE5LTS, we're ready for you.
Scott, nothing new here other than the fact that some of the businesses didn't want to close, so the mayor went door to door and told them how it was going to be, and Main Street's kind of dead these days.
Well, man, that's too bad, because I could sure go for some of that Andolini's pizza. Every once in a while, my wife and I would run down there on a Friday and do that all-you-could-eat $10 for lunch deal.
Yeah, with that number, you know, can't have more than 10 in there at a time. So, they weren't adhering to it, and then the mayor decided to go door to door and tell everybody just what he expected.
Hey, roger that, Gene. Hey, did you get a buyer for your Connect Systems 700?
Not yet, sir. Still for sale.
Okay, and that's been upgraded once, and you've got some accessories with that too, correct?
Yes, sir. 2 antennas.
so that sure gets somebody started on DMR if they wanted it, and they can find you here on the repeater more often than not, correct?
Here 39 and on the 220 or on the phone. Check it out. Get my phone number off of QRZ.
Okay, well, I wanted to bring that up. That was in my notes. So, hey, I'm glad that you got on. Hope that you're feeling pretty good, and we'll talk to you next week.
Alright, Scott. Yeah, today I learned how to vacuum, mop, and sweep from a wheelchair. K5LTS back to net control.
Man. Hey, gotcha. Well, man, good luck there, and we'll talk to you again soon. KE5LTS, KD5NJR. Okay, Jerry, KC5, JKU. Hey, happy Monday, Jerry.
Hey, KD5NJR and Net, this is KC5JKU. Evening, Scott. Just wanted to take opportunity to check into the Net this evening. Hope you're doing well, and appreciate the opportunity to check in.
No problem, Jerry. It looked like you were out and about earlier today there. So, see. Anything interesting happened to you at work?
I've got all the interest I can stand. My company has gone to a rotating 2-week furlough where 1/3 of the staff are out. So that means everybody else has to pick up their workload by 1/3. And I'm feeling it, especially the calls that come from Europe. That's going to get really interesting early tomorrow morning. But no, we're doing fine over here. Got all the lights on, and everyone's doing well, so can't complain. Did help my oldest daughter. They just completed their purchase of their house, so I can see movement of stuff coming in the near future, and that'll free up some space in my shack, and I can get back to the building up here for the radio hobby. Hey.
Okay. Well, I'm learning a few new tricks on the radio hobby end of things, and today in professional radio, I had an interesting problem. We had a photocell not work right at our tower site in far west Texas, and I got a call from the observatory.
You don't hear from them every day, do you?
No, they may be one of the few people that still reads the newspaper. Hi. But yeah, they inquired with me as to the lighting strategy when they saw our public notice for the communications tower go up, or go out in the newspaper, in the classifieds. And I've got a pretty good rapport with that gentleman, and he had called me, and I got right back with him and let him know that we'd have the problem diagnosed, and I'm keeping him in the loop, being neighborly, as we say in Texas. So I think all's well, or all will end well on that one. It'll just take a couple days to get it all worked out. But I thought that was interesting, and I want to make it out there sometime and get another tour of the observatory. I got to do that when I was 10 or 11 years old, and I would like to do that again. I'll have to look this guy up.
Yeah, a few years back, the YL and I went out and we did one of those deals where you stay in the little apartments overnight and get to take turns looking through the eyepiece. It was a blast. Yeah, enjoying. Looking forward to building up some more stuff here on the tower.
Hey, sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, with that, I'll go ahead and return to net control. Scott.
Hey, sounds good, Jerry. Talk to you later. And we'll give Tony enough lead time to fact check this. But I'm pretty sure when I was a kid, this is in about 1986, 87, 85. 85, because the space shuttle was still flying. It was before the accident. Yeah, in about 85, summer of 85, we were out there, and I got to see Saturn. They were doing that on the 107-inch telescope that evening, and that was super cool. KC5JKU, KD5NJR. Hey, Bob, you're up. 85JL from Control.
Thanks, Scott. This is Bob, Alpha Delta 5 Juliet Lima. Don't have much, just been doing our homebound thing, but we did get out a little bit today. Yeah, the traffic is not too bad. I kind of like it like that. But we got to go see Gloria's doctor tomorrow morning, so we'll get that taken care of. And after that, I don't know. I got a little end-fed antenna I'm going to try to put up. I just don't know exactly what length to make it. I don't know about how good it's going to work stringing it up in the backyard, where I guess we just do the best we can do and see how it comes out. Don't know about running it underneath PSO's lines, but may have to.
Okay. See, you said you weren't for sure how long, or you weren't for sure how high. And I'm curious what band you were going to operate.
Well, I'd like to run 10 through 40 or 80, but I don't know if that's possible or not. Yeah, with this end-fed antenna, I have no idea how well it's going to work out. We're just going to have to try it and see. But they give different lengths, and I'm not really sure, what would work best. I've watched a video on, I think it was on YouTube. Can't remember the guy's call sign, but anyway, he was talking about it, and he said for his setup, 148 feet was the best length. But I don't know, have no idea. So we're just going to have to, I don't have room for that, I don't think. I'd have to kind of run it through the trees and make a big U out of it, I'm afraid. And but I don't know, Scott. We're just going to have to see what we can come up with and see what's going to maybe work the best. Just do a little trial and error.
Yeah, that may be best. I don't remember offhand if what that is. If that's a quarter wave or half wave antenna. Hey, did you build the matching network already?
I tried and I could not get it to work, and maybe it was, maybe it still would work, but I splurged and bought one. So, but yeah, I did try to make one, and I got it made, but I couldn't get it to work. So I don't know if it was just soldering the wires wrong, or I don't know where I goofed it up. But one of these days I'm going to take it apart and see if I can figure it out.
Okay. Hey, be careful with those. If I'm not mistaken, high voltages can develop in that tune circuit there inside of the box. But yours is store bought, so I think you'll be okay. Now, if I could just remember, and I don't have enough hands to Google while I'm talking, but I can't remember what the relationship is on the length of the wire. But if you didn't get it all that high in the air, that may be a really nice Invis antenna for 40 meters. You work 300 or 400 miles out. That might be something. That's kind of on my to-do list. Before it started raining, I guess Thursday, I was walking my yard and thinking about what I wanted to do for antennas for HF here in the summertime, and I really nothing came to mind. So I think I may be doing a off-center fed dipole, because where I've got a convenient center support for a dipole right now, it puts one end of the antenna in my neighbor's yard, and I don't think that's going to fly. So, hey, before I let you go, how's the garden? I guess we're waiting for things to germinate, correct?
Well, yes, part of it, and part of it we went out and went down to Grog's Green Barn and bought some plants, and Gloria has some lettuce plants out there, and I forget, some kale, some parsley, and I can't remember the other two greens. But anyway, yeah, they're all looking pretty good. So the asparagus that I planted so far hasn't budged, but it's still early, so we just kind of keep an eye on them and keep the weeds pulled out of there, and we just kind of wait and see if they're going to come up and give us some asparagus, maybe, or at least grow for next year so we can pick some. Anyway, Scott, we'll turn it back to you. That's it for me tonight. Anyway, we'll say 7-3's out there. This is Bob, 85JL.
Hey, we'll talk to you later, Bob. Thanks for checking in. 85JL, KD5NJR. So, a good time to ID here. I'm KD5NJR with the W5DRZ Monday Night Net 14691 repeater. Okay, and now we'll go from one Bob to another Bob. Hey, what's going on? KF5TVG, KD5NJR. Hey, Bob.
Well, hello, Scott and the group. Nice to be back in town. We were gone for about a month in Branson. Really intended to only be there about a week and a half, but, the world has changed in the meantime. But we brought back a couple of weeks' worth of food, and we had 2 or 3 weeks' worth of food here, so I think we're good for near term at least. And glad to be back and just kind of hunker down here at the house. We had a visitor waiting for us when we got back. There was a bat that decided to make his little nesting place right above a light that shines onto our front door there on the front porch, and we had all these droppings on the floor or on the steps there, and I thought, well, why would a mouse do this kind of a deal? And then I looked up and saw about 3 inches of guano up on top of the the light fixture. So we have Oklahoma's Mr. Batman coming out in a couple of days to try to help us clean that up and make sure that we don't have any other issues with bats in the attic and all those wonderful kind of things. And I don't know if you mentioned it at the beginning of the talk here tonight, the net, but I did get a chance to tie into the Sunday night youth net. I think you were on there as well last night, and so just encouragement for people if they want to encourage youth people in Southwest Missouri. They can get on with DMR or All-Star or Echolink from really anywhere. It's 7:30 on Sunday nights. Anyhow, good to be back. Good to hear your voice, and I will turn it back to net control. This is KF5 TVG.
Hey, talk to you later, Bob. KF5 TVG, KD5NJR. Yeah, I'm glad you're back, and it's not the same without you. Hey, I wanted to tell you, when you get unpacked and settled in, don't forget to load that OpenSCAD CAD package. That's really pretty cool stuff, and maybe we can get your milling machine up and going, and we'll make something that we draw.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I saw your picture of it, and that's on my to-do list to dig into that and just see what we could do with it. It looked like it's maybe geared more for additive 3D printer kind of stuff, but maybe not. Maybe you could use it in a subtractive mode as well. Anyhow, yeah, I'm glad you shared that with me. This is KF5 TVG.
Okay, text me sometime. See if if your machine reads STL files. I can export STL, and if you need G code, I'll do some more reading up on that. But 7-3, Bob. KF5 TVG, KD5NJR. N5 WCW, he was in and out, no comments for the net. Takes us down to KA5 TRO. Hey, Tony.
KD5NJR and net, KA5TRO. Hope everybody is well, happy, healthy, and surviving the insanity. I had a friend coin a term the other day, the paranoid ammonium or something like that, or paranoidemic, I think it was what it was. The paranoia of the pandemic, and I just, I'm pretty much there. Of course, I'm following all the rules and hunkering down at home, but that's not much different from my everyday existence now. So, how's things over there?
Oh, same thing. Watching an awful lot of Netflix. It seems like I'm out of brownie points. The Tiffany and Alex are ready for me to be out of the office / ham shack / shed, and back in the house with them by the time the money net is done. So I don't hide out and do too much out here. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hi. Watching a lot of Netflix. Alex is doing he did his first day remote 4th grade. He had a couple hours of work to knock out, and then Tiffany had him do a few extras just for good measure. So he's doing good. But like I said, we're working Netflix pretty hard, and Amazon Prime. But I guess just to sort of go along with the recommendations to stay home where we can. And anyway, but I did get to mess around with Open SCAD. I messed around with that Saturday night, so I feel a little bit accomplished.
Well, that's fine. We'll have to catch up on that sometime when we can get together. My foreseeable future is a little bit cloudy, as you might well imagine, with things I've got going on. But I'll get through it, and we'll pick up again. And of course, about the time we'll all hopefully be able to return to something resembling normal, or whatever the new normal is, and we can all get together and we can all go tear up that $10 Andolini's thing one Friday. That would definitely suit me.
Yeah, that's an interesting deal. That's pizza, or okay, it's pick 2 of 3: pizza, pasta, salad. So sometimes I'll do pizza and salad. Sometimes I'll do pizza and spaghetti. So anyways, yeah, that's a interesting thing. Hey, that stomach bug, that didn't come back to haunt you again, did it?
Not me, it didn't. And we're all clear of all of that. I may have accidentally passed it on to the daughter, but because she ended up getting sick about a week later after I had gone over there to help her out with something. So I hope I didn't give it to her. I don't think I did. Of course, we were not exactly in close contact, but hey, who knows? But no, we're
Yeah, and I said I would, and then I didn't make a reminder. I should have Siri bug me about that at noon, but I was on the phone today. We have no surprise. We have a app version of the hardware dispatcher's console that we can load on laptops, and that's got a VoIP kind of back end on it. So that's what James and I worked on a lot today was testing of that, which is a lot like it's a lot like the what do they call it in DMR, the hose. It's a lot like the hose. So we were working on that today, but yeah, I need to get in on that. That's Sundays. Excuse me. That's daily at noon on 14709. I heard part of it either Saturday or Sunday, Tony. And by the way, there's 5 brave souls on the YouTube Live version of this thing. So something different, I guess, for the coronavirus pandemic. Hey, back to you, Tony.
I haven't logged on to that, but as I'm sitting here at my operating position with stuff piled up here on my desktop, I'm kind of been the opposite of you this last week. You were getting more organized, and I'm becoming more disorganized. I just got a lot of stuff going on in all manner. So anyway, the only thing else I'll say is when you make that trip out to McDonald, you let me know, and if I'm free, I may just join you. Hi. It's I've looked through a couple of big scopes, but the last big scope I got to look through was one of the ones at Kit Peak. But never even done the tour at McDonald. Always wanted to, and would love to get out there, and get some time on one of those scopes. Of course, using a scope that large, is visually just about impossible. Because you're looking at a fraction of minutes of arc, if not seconds of arc. Even through a very long focal length eyepiece. So that would be interesting. I mean, I've looked through a couple of big scopes with whether usually with they're very specialized eyepieces because their focusers are huge, like 4-inch focusers, and you get into that world and it gets very, very expensive, very, very fast. I've got a friend in Denver, who manages the 22-inch Clark refractor that's under dome there near the University of Denver campus, and that thing's an amazing old scope. If you realize what they had to work with when that scope was made in the late 19th century, and to see the kinds of images it puts up today, it's absolutely amazing. So I love getting the chance to look through big scopes whenever I get the chance.
I'm pretty sure, and again, I remember this, through kind of a different set of lenses. Hi. But I thought we went out there, and they had us look at the 3 or 4 moons of Jupiter, that you could see with, I don't know, say a 10-inch, sort of top end, amateur kind of scope. And then I thought we went in the dome, saw another presentation, and then in small groups went and looked at Saturn. And what I remember was that Saturn was in color, and of course Jupiter was just black and white. At least that's how I remember it. You think I got that right, Tony?
Well, even in a 10-inch scope, you should be able to discern at least the equatorial bands of Jupiter in color, the red and the blue equatorial bands, the northern and southern bands. But yeah, absolutely, Saturn would be at 100 and some inches. Saturn would be in high def color. medium aperture with excellent contrast and color resolution to be able to do that. So, but at 106 inches, yeah, that's not a problem. Um, even from an amateur perspective, it would be um, 25 inches or more, and you would certainly be able to discern color. So, you're talking about 4 times the diameter and several factors of 10 more surface area to collect light and focus it.
And of course, that same time, the space shuttle came over, and that was a pretty cool thing too. Because I remember, one, it was very, very bright, and then two, it was flashing. And somebody had said that it was because one of the satellites that had just been released out of the payload bay earlier in the day was spinning. So I'll have to look up and see why they would spin up satellites in the cargo bay. But maybe that was communication satellites or something. Anyway, it gives me some more stuff to look up. I'm sure it's Wikipedia to the rescue. Over.
KA5TRO. Well, I would have to look that up too. I mean, I'd have no idea why they'd spin up a satellite, but if it was flashing, yeah, it's definitely something to do with surface reflections off of either the satellite or the shuttle itself, or a combination of the two. That was about the only thing that would cause that, because typically, when you have a satellite pass over, you'll see it come into and go out of the illuminated area that's still above the horizon, or above the umbra from sunset. You'll see that, especially if you're watching for iridium flares. Sorry, I had a senior moment for a second. If you're watching for iridium flares, the old iridium communication satellites, when they come into view, they'll gradually get brighter and brighter, and then be really, really bright for a while, and then start to fade out, because they're passing into and out of the direct sunlight. The same would be true of ISS or the shuttle, or whatever other satellite or artificial object you were wanting to view. Although doing those in a traditional amateur setup is nearly impossible, because you can't track them. You've got to do it by hand, or have a very, 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 and oh, did I mention very expensive mount.
Expensive meaning fast and stable, right? Pick both.
Fast, stable, accurate, and that can follow a non-equatorial track.
Pick all four.
After that, all four would be absolutely mandatory. I've seen one of those types of mounts show up on eBay one time. It was a retired NASA mount, and the asking price started at $100,000. Not that, and it was specifically for satellite tracking. And, that's out of the reach of most amateurs, for obvious reasons. Not that, we like looking at satellites, try to grab them in binoculars, especially ISS. That's really cool to be able to see, and you can discern the detail and the panels and the modules and whatnot with a decent binocular. But that's anything more than that is very challenging.
Well, hey Tony. Hey, thanks for checking in. I sure appreciate it.
Worries. We can go down the rabbit hole like we usually do, but I'll back out and let everybody else that wants to get in, and hope everyone is well and stays well and gets through all of this. So anyway, KE5NJR, this is KA5TRO, back to net.
Okie dokie. So this is sort of the point in the net that I've been making a mention, at least since last month's club meeting, which was our National Weather Service spotter training and storm awareness meeting. The decision support page for Tulsa office of the National Weather Service. We're pretty green, really, for the criteria. Severe storms. We're green Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We are yellow on Wednesday. And of course, Wednesday also carries lightning and strong winds attributes, both of those set to yellow. So it looks like Wednesday might be something to look at. So tomorrow you can look at the SPC Storm Prediction Center website, look at their Day 2 outlook, again because we're talking Wednesday, and see what they've got. But anyhow, a lot can change in a couple days, so I won't spend a whole lot of time on that. Which brings us down to special event stations. And one of the special event stations I want to bring up is the 50th anniversary of Apollo 13, April 11 through April 17. Huntsville, that would be Marshall Space Flight Center. November 4, Sierra Alpha, that's the club station there. In Huntsville, Alabama, they're listed as kind of the responsible party on this thing. But then they also say additional or numerous NASA clubs on the air. So 14271 is the frequency to monitor, April 11 through April 17. And they've set up a blog, nasaontheair.wordpress.com. Okay, so we also have Sinking of the Titanic on 414 from the Titanic Museum attraction there at Pigeon Forge. They're on the air 14280, 7180, and again out of Tennessee, April 1415. April, did you know, is Moonshine Heritage Month. So Whiskey 4 Mike on standard digital frequencies, and 28400, 21300, 14250, 7215, 3850, and 1900, along with additional CW frequencies. Those guys are on the air April 15 through April 30. Whiskey 4 Mike, Franklin County, Virginia, Moonshine capital of the world. State Parks of Texas, April 14 through April 20. K5LRK out of the Colony, Texas. It's in the Dallas Metro Mess. And that takes us into mid-April. So we'll give some more as the month goes on. But that's kind of what I've got for housekeeping items and for special event stations and hamfests. Of course, for the most part, hamfests are all canceled. Let's grab another round of check-ins, and then I've got a couple things to talk about, and we'll wrap up the net. So our so-called third round of check-ins. Call now.
5 uniform whiskey.
J5OUG.
Kilo Charlie 5, Sierra Hotel Echo.
5LW.
Okay, Justin, we'll draw the line with you. We have Earl WB5UUW, Charles KA50UG, Scott KC5SHE, and Justin AF5LW. So go ahead, take it away there, WB5UUW from KD5NJR. Hey, Earl.
Evening, Scott, and everybody on the net there. Finally able to get up here and check in. I guess you all probably heard my situation, and I've finally been released to climb stairs and start driving again, and so I thought I'd get up here and check in tonight.
Man, I must have missed an email, but welcome back.
I've had
Hey, sorry, Earl, you caught me with a mouthful of dinner, but good grief. Yeah, I don't think I made the April meeting. Excuse me, the February meeting. So, man, glad you're back with us.
Good to be back up and around again. Didn't have a heart attack. It just evolved from the health issues I had back in November when I had blood clots on the lung, which developed from the 16-and-a-half-hour flight I had back from Johannesburg back in August. So kind of a domino effect type thing. The November hospital visit, they had suggested I thought I had a weak heart and need to go see a cardiologist, so he suggested a stress test. Stress test indicated I probably had some blockages, so we did a cath the next morning, heart cath, and then they found they definitely had a couple blockages, but they couldn't do a stent on me because I've got bad kidneys due to bad diabetes medicine I was taking, which about killed my kidneys, and if I'd have done a stent, they would have killed my kidneys and I'd be on dialysis for the rest of my life. So he said, you've got 3 to 6 years, or you can have a bypass. I said, well, that's not a very good option, is it? So I opted for the bypass, and he said, hold on a second. He went and got a heart surgeon, and he says, I can get you in Monday. This is on a Thursday evening, after a Thursday morning, and he said, I can get you in next Monday. We'll let you know. Well, next Monday I went in and had a went in a double bypass, and then they found out that I had a third one. And a good thing they did, because one of them was 95%, and the other one was 80, and the other one was about 60. So I got all that taken care of, and just was released last Thursday to start driving again. And I'm still out of work till the first part of May. Can't go back to work. But been walking every day, 2 or 3 miles a day, or no, I'd say 1.5 miles, 2 miles a day. And it's good to get up and get around. Can't lift much yet, but I'm doing quite well, and hope to see everybody in May. But that kind of depends on whether or not the city is going to open up the community center, whether we'll have a meeting or not. But that's about all I got for right now.
Well, yikes, Earl. Well, man, wow, what a story. But I'm glad where you were was a one-stop shop. You had all the medical people there. That's a pretty quick turnaround. You come in on a Thursday and they can do you on a Monday. That's pretty awesome. Well, anyways, yeah. Hopefully we'll see you. We'll see you in May, and if not May, we'll catch you in June.
For sure. And I hope maybe get this thing, all this COVID stuff, we get back together and maybe go to some lunches or breakfast again on Friday or whatever. I'd like to get out of the house here. About all I can do right now is run to the pharmacy and pick up a few meds and back home again. But anyway, it's good to be up and around and talking on the air, and good to hear everybody this evening. So back to you, KD5NJR and the net, WB5U.
Okay, we'll talk to you. WB5UUW, KD5NJR, KA5OUG from KD5NJR Net Control. Hey, good evening.